Hello folks, this is Johnny again, and today let's take another look at a bass tone using TH3. Though, first of all, a few things. This is going to be quite the generic tutorial. I mean, bass tone tutorials you will find hundreds on YouTube, and I'm pretty much using the same generic approach, just using TH3 for it, but bottom line, there's no big difference. Also, I have to say my bass guitar I find doesn't take distortion too well. So if you're not too overwhelmed by the tone I'm going to dial in here, by all means forgive me. So here on the first bass track I have a rather clean bass tone. It's pretty much the same one I dialed in last time. I just took out some of the distortion, like lowering the level here in the compressor before the amp and taking out a little bit of gain, and that's giving me a cleaner sound. Yeah. And then afterwards there's just a little bit of EQ and low-end compression and overall compression. You know, just so that this is really more for the low end. So that sits in the mix, and now on the second track we can take care of the character we want to have with our bass. So here is empty TH3, so this is just the DI of the bass again. Yeah. And now, yeah, from here it's really whatever you want to do. We could go for a more clean, crunchy amp just to get a bit more girth in there, a bit more growly mid-range, or we could go for a bit more high-gain amp to get some real distortion in there. Yeah, whatever you want. For the more cleaner, girthy mid-range, there's so much you could really use with that. The Brunetti Mercury works, the Caliper works, the here the Marcus or the Mark 2C Plus from Mesa Boogie works. The Vox works, so really just fill around with it, try it out. For distortion, it's really also up to you what kind of character you want. Do you want something very dirty and muddy? Then perhaps go for the Heavy 51 or Mesa Boogie. Or do you want to have something more modern? Then perhaps use the Engel, or also the dual rectifier on a different channel. Depending on what kind of style you want, you can pretty much always use the dual rectifier somehow. It's very versatile in that way. Well, for this video, why don't we just go with the dual rectifier on channel 2? Now here, I think here comes the most important information to take away from this video. When I take this kind of approach, I much rather use a bass cap rather than a guitar cap, because using a guitar cap for me always sounds kind of obvious. It's pretty much noticeable that the bass has been processed on two different levels. So I rather take a bass cap, preferably the same one I also use for the clean channel, and that will make it seem much more like one and the same thing. It will sound like it's all coming from one track, just one-time processing. It's going through one amp, through one cap, and it makes it sound more natural, to me at least. So let's just listen into what this sounds like right now. Needs work. Let's take this down, let's put this away. Let's take out the respire, we don't need that for this channel. Let's put in a high pass low filter, low pass filter. Actually we could try a different mic, however. On the clean channel I used the 52, so here let's use the 57 for a bit more mid-range. Okay, that still sounds super muddy. Let's get an equalizer in here. I kind of already like to take out those low frequencies in the tone. Yeah, something around those lines. And when it comes to shaping the distortion a little bit, I rather use EQ before the amp than a pedal, because this gives me a little bit more control over everything. And oftentimes I like to take out 200 Hz because that's making it really muddy and distorted. But with the dual rectifier, we can actually leave it like this. It takes low end very well. I'm quite surprised at that. Other amps, you would rather want to use some kind of pre-EQ, taking out the low end so it doesn't get too muddy. But here it works like this already. Let's put it together with the clean bass channel. Yeah, let's put in a little bit here of filter, just taking out the low lows and the super highs, because there you notice the pick attack gets too scratchy with my bass. I guess we could take that out before the amp, but I don't know. I'm kind of lazy right now. I don't want to fiddle around too much. So let's just get this in there. Yeah, something around those lines. Let's put it in the mix. So there you have it. That is pretty much the generic approach for getting a bass tone. A clean tone on one track just to fill up that low end right, and then the second channel getting your character in there with distortion and EQ and whatever you want to do. Let's end it here. I hope you like this. Please comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.